Stu Journalism and the New Brunswick Beacon present The Basement Files.
Hi, I'm Robert Johnson.
And I'm Justin Cook.
Welcome to this week's edition of The Basement Files.
Today's top stories are:
the University of New Brunswick has been named one of the top 4 universities in Canada.
we have a small slice of the American election from a small U.S. town.
The UNB Red Bombers rallied to win their second Atlantic Football League championship.
Last week, we watched the United States re-elect President Barack Obama. Our reporter went to a small town in New Hampshire where Mitt Romney has a summer home. From Wolfboro, New Hampshire, Kaylee Moore has more on the story.
Residents of Wolfboro lined the streets last Tuesday as polls opened at 7 a.m. While citizens across the U.S. cast their ballots for president, this small New Hampshire town felt their votes hit close to home.
Thank you, and God bless America.
Obama's challenger, Mitt Romney, had large support in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, a swing state worth 4 electoral college votes. Romney's summer home on Lake Winnipesaukee brings him to town each July to walk in Wolfboro's annual 4th of July parade. For Wolfboro resident Ann Marola, the town's most famous summer resident has her support.
We sort of know him. He lives here. He has a summer home here, and it's pretty close to where we live. And he's just a regular guy. You'll see him out biking, and you'll see him in the local restaurants with his family having breakfast. And I'll be happy.
Marola thanked voters as they left the polls, which often took a while. Only yards down the street were Democrat supporters, hoping to make a final impression closer to the building. Amongst them is candidate for State Representative John White. White says Wolfboro and the country is so polarized that nothing gets done.
We got to get back to the old system where when election day was over, you sat down and did the country's business. You got to stop talking and preaching ideology. You got to start thinking about participation, about civic principles, not just about I got to have this and I got to have it now and I will not compromise.
Other supporters came out to make their voices known, but most voters already had their minds made up. College students took advantage of New Hampshire's same-day registration, often resulting in a longer line than the polls. For some small businesses in Wolfboro, a Romney presidency could potentially boom the town's economy, but others disagree and say Wolfboro would lose its hidden tranquility.
More than 500 people showed up within the first hour of voting, and many of these people were here to greet them as they did. As the sun goes down now, many Colt supporters are anxious to hear not just how Wolfboro will weigh in, but on the national results.
We are and forever will be the United States of America.
Even though Obama won the national election and the state of New Hampshire, Romney claimed Carroll County, where the little summer town of Wolfboro is located. For Stu Journalism, I'm Kaylee Moore.
In local news, the University of New Brunswick has been named one of the top 4 universities in Canada. The criteria looked at was operating budgets, library holdings, and average class size. UNB moved from 6th to 4th place in the last year in the category of universities offering undergraduate and graduate programs, as well as research activity. Although they ranked high in most categories, they ranked low in the standings for student support. UNB recognized there is an area that needs improvement, says UNB Student Union President Andrew Martel.
We're pleased, but there's definitely some places that we realize we can grow and be more of a competitor with other universities out there. So we definitely need to, I guess, congratulate ourselves on what we did right, but definitely look at what we could grow on and be better, and focus on those in the upcoming years, and maybe move ahead in the rankings.
Ranked first in Canada for its number of volumes in campus libraries divided by its total number of students in the Harriet Irving Library. Martel says they are hoping this will attract more students to UNB.
UNB had more reasons to celebrate when the Red Bombers captured the Atlantic Football Championship for the second time. They capitalized on turnovers to down the Holland College Hurricanes 14-7. They also beat St. John in the playoffs. Robert Johnson was on hand for the story.
Even the sub-zero weather conditions couldn't take away how good the Gatorade shower felt for victorious coach Mike Dollymore. A packed crowd came out to support the Red Bombers take on the Holland College Hurricanes. The game was held at BMO Field in Fredericton, the home of the UNB Football Club. This was a rematch of last year's Atlantic Football League Championship game, where the Red Bombers lost easily to the Hurricanes. Nobody on the team wanted the same result this season, including offensive lineman Matt Murray.
Oh, definitely. So they beat us 28-0. Not left a bad taste in everybody's mouth all season long, all off season long. It feels real good to come back to our home and beat it.
After a scoreless opening quarter, UMB quarterback Brendan Cornford found A.J. Durling on a 75-yard touchdown pass to put the Bombers up 7-0. At halftime, the game was tied up at 7. The third quarter saw the Bombers go back to a familiar play. Cornford to Durling for their second touchdown of the game and the eventual winning point. A late interception sealed the win for the Bombers. Time to celebrate. The team bench started the celebrations first, in the final seconds until the clock finally hit 0. Then the excitement began. The final score ended up being 14-7 for UMB. Although Durling and Cornford were great in the game, Coach Dollymore gave a lot of praise to his defense.
Our defense hung in there the whole second half. We had trouble converting our first downs in the second half, and the defense stopped, has to be 5-6 drives in a row. We didn't give them field position, but they came up big every drive and stopped it even right down to the last little bit. 8 yards left to go, 30 seconds, and we came up with that interception. Fantastic win.
After the celebrations died down, the team was presented with their second Moosehead Cup in the last 4 years. Then parents and loved ones got their turn with the champions. Long after the game had finished, kids and teenagers were still on the field, possibly inspired by the Bombers.
Perhaps in the future, those teenagers could lead the Bombers to more winning seasons. For Stu Journalism, I'm Robert Johnson. Another example of local success is the 12th annual Silver Wave Film Festival. The festival shows more than 100 different types of films, viewed over 4 days and 3 venues. Caitlin Doiron went to one of the showings.
A group of people lined up early to see the first set of New Brunswick shorts, which were shown at the Centre Communautaire Saint-Anne in the Bernard Poirier Theatre. Fredericton's sketch comedy group Fiddleheads' short titled Closeted Chris was one of 11 shown at the NB Shorts. Group member Bunta Vinu said the comedy group started out because of the festival.
I think it was mainly, we were slacking off for a while, but last year at Silver Wave, we all met up at an after party and we were like, oh, remember that idea about that sketch troupe? Let's do it. And we just kind of called we all kind of knew each other through different film shoots we've been involved with or through the Actors Helping Actors group, and just knew each other as actors. And we thought, let's just get together, write some sketches and throw them online.
After the shows, viewers can vote for their favorite out of more than 100 films to win the Viewer's Choice Award. New Brunswick Filmmakers Cooperative volunteer Nancy Lynch believes the festival is a great way to showcase local talent.
I think that the film festival here, the Silver Wave Film Festival, is a great event, and it showcases a lot of great filmmakers in New Brunswick and outside of New Brunswick. And you know, I wish more people would know about it and participate, because it's a great event.
Local actor Jake Martin is in 2 short films and enjoys seeing the reactions of those who watch.
Oh, it's great. It's phenomenal to actually see not only something that you've worked on and put effort in and sometimes years ago, but also seeing how an audience reacts to it, and also seeing people talk about it, or people kind of share their ideas about it.
More than 130 films were submitted this year, and already there has been submissions for next year. So if you enjoy filmmaking, getting it done sooner rather than later would be best. For Stu Journalism, I'm Caitlin Doiron.
The festival also devotes a special screening to the efforts of the New Brunswick Film Co-op's Camp for Kids. The children have 5 days to produce their films, and other cultural organizations can compete as well. Andrea Silverthorne paid a visit to one of the city's young filmmakers.
Simplified version of iMovie mixed together with Final Cut.
15-year-old Harrison Palmer makes movies. He began competing with the Silver Wave Film Festival at the age of 12.
And I stick my hand in the mailbox to go get a letter, and something inside the mailbox starts eating away at my arm, and people try to help me, but they don't believe me that something's eating at my arm. Just a cute little video.
The cute little video won an award.
Just a camera and a tripod and me.
And Harrison won again last year for Best Youth Film. Harrison's first home movie starred his younger brother Quentin, who still acts in his brother's movies.
Roll the clip.
I know nothing about Homer.
Harrison is retired from acting to concentrate on script development and directing, but not before starring in several of his own films, including one about travel in a time machine back to ancient Greece to get Homer to help him with his homework. Harrison enters the youth category and competes in the 48-hour Film Student Festival as well. Harrison's friends call him Harry, and his films feature a good many of them.
I've known a lot of them for a long time, actually, like middle school. I make them do it all the time.
Harrison's previous 48-hour student entry is about a group of youths that have been sent to a home for undesirable boys, the most undesirable of which is Scratchy, who has a stomach problem. He vomits all the time. Harrison's mom made the vomit.
Really real. What did you make it of?
It was pudding and cereal.
Pudding and
a little
cereal.
Bit of food coloring too.
She also named her sons after movie greats.
Inspired by Harrison Ford. Tarantino.
This year, the Silver Wave Film Festival Youth Competition featured drama, comedies, horror films, science fiction, and animation. Harrison had 2 entries in the youth competition this year.
Not much, Mac.
He lost to films about bullying, climate change, and an outer space thriller full of special effects.
And I am your youth shorts.
According to the competition's host, Carly Culver, more youth are entering the festival.
The movies have gotten way better. From what I remember, they were okay, but now it's really improved immensely. Maybe it's just my viewing, how I view films now, but I definitely think they've gotten better.
For the love of film, Harrison will continue to practice his craft. He posts films on YouTube regularly. You can see him play the guitar there as well. Studies show that practice helps a student develop their talent. The New Brunswick Film Co-op and other cultural organizations throughout the province fill a void in community school programming. For Stu Journalism, this is Andrea Solithorn.
My co-host Robert Johnson sat down with Stu Athletics Coordinator Eric Moffat to discuss the new home of the St. Thomas Tommies. Here's that interview.
So when did the decision happen to move the basketball and volleyball programs to the Lady Beaverbrook Gym?
Well, we've been looking at it for a while because obviously the Lady Beaverbrook Gymnasium with the UNB programs moving to the Curry Center is that we were looking to have a better fan experience. So we've been looking at it for a period of time, and then finally UNB approached us last week, just before our first home openers, and discuss with us whether we wanted to play in the gym there. So, and we took advantage of it, and that's now where we're going to call our home.
And how long has this process been in the works?
Well, I think it was first identified when UNB's varsity programs moved to the Curry Center, which would have been at the start of the 2011-2012 campaign. So that's the first identification process, and I think that it was just a little too quick in terms of the transition period. So we looked at it during the summer of 2012, and so that there was still some concerns on UNB for their programming and what they provide at that gym, and finally just at the 11th hour we had finally that UNB was very open to the fact of our programs moving down the LB gym.
So what are the school's plans to make it feel like a home gym? Because right now it's mostly decked up in UNB stuff and everything like that. Is there any plans for that, or?
Well, I know that we've brought some signage down to the LB gym that says "Welcome to St. Thomas," and we have at the scorekeepers table we'll have a "Go Tommies" banner. So those are some of the little things that we can do, and hopefully in partnership with UNB that we'll be able to promote our past championship banners. We do understand that it is a University of New Brunswick building, so there's a lot of legacy that's been left there. So we are not looking to remove any type of their signage, obviously, and so we're looking at partnering with them to find out what we can do, and we're still in the early stages of that. We wanted to first of all get our games down there to get our fan experience and a great venue.
So now that you are officially moved down to the Lady Beaverbrook Gym, you spoke a little bit earlier about the banners, so what's going to happen to the South Gym, the actual gym, and the banners that are all up there?
Well, I think because a lot of our history is up at the South Gym for the past amount of years, is that those banners, I believe, should be kept up there. So we'll leave the banners at the South Gym, and then we'll hopefully at some point have a legacy piece at the Lady Beer Gymnasium that showcases all of the history that we've had at the South Gym.
So is this an official long-term move, or is this just a trial run right now?
This is an official long-term move. With our home openers this past weekend, as well as the ACAA Volleyball Championships that we hosted and the ACAA Basketball Champs that we'll be hosting in March of 2013, that this is a great venue. That venue holds 1,200 people, so we'll be able to host a lot of fans for some of our major events. And there's still some details that we still need to work out in terms of game times and things like that, but it's just a matter of this is a permanent long-term move.
All right, well, thank you very much for taking the time out with us today, and hopefully everything is successful with the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thanks. You don't have to be on a team to stay physically active. More and more New Brunswickers are focusing on fitness. New exercise facilities and long-standing community organizations are helping to fill this newfound appetite. Shannon Mooney visited 2 of these exercise facilities and files this report.
Here, take a great stretch overhead, so reach your arms towards the mirror and point your toes. It's just been a dream of mine since I even thought about going to teacher training, since my very first practice. Yeah, and it was the only way I could really spread it to as many people as I wanted to spread it to.
Kelly McDonald started teaching yoga 4 years ago. Today, she is the owner of Moksha Yoga Fredericton, one of 75 locations. She opened her studio in October in the Kings Place Mall. Moksha practices hot yoga, exercising in an overheated room to increase the heart rate and stretch deeper into poses. McDonald says the studio is getting busier every day.
I have had students already come to me and say that it's changed their life in only 3 weeks. So I can't imagine how it's going to be, in a year or 2 years or 3 years. It's really exciting.
A lot of times, I think I feel what most other people do. Exercising is always that really good way of de-stressing yourself.
Kevin Burke works out at the YMCA frequently. He says he needs to be physically active every 2 to 3 days at least. Otherwise, he says he gets sluggish. The YMCA is a charitable organization that promotes positive values that build spirit, mind, and body. Dana Sinclair is the director of the Health and Wellness Department.
The Wellness Center provides members with individual programs, so they can come and either do cardio, which is like treadmills and cross trainers and bikes and rowing machines and steppers, and then there's also weights.
Sinclair says group fitness is really popular. The Y provides over 80 classes that range from weightlifting to Zumba, a Latin-inspired dance workout.
I do yoga is to relax my mind and just get rid of the everyday thoughts that occupy our mind. And it really helps me do that. It's the only time in my day where I'm just kind of hanging out, being myself, and just loving myself for that, and accepting everything as it is.
Hot yoga and other new ways to exercise and relax the mind and body are becoming popular in Fredericton. The New Brunswick government is also involved in the wellness movement and held a public event earlier this week that focused on improving the wellness in homes, schools, communities, and workplaces. For Stu Journalism, I'm Shannon Mooney.
As physical fitness becomes trendy, a community organization focusing on overall wellness will get a facelift. Fredericton Women's Youth Shelter Chrysalis House will be repainted for free. Nick Murray has more on the ongoing renovations.
For more than 20 years, Chrysalis House has been helping at-risk young women have a safe place to live. Now, the house is the one who's getting some help. Deluxe Paints, a Canadian-based paint supply company with a shop in Fredericton, offered to repaint the entire house for free. They also supplied new bed sheets, which the new colors will be based from. Volunteers from all over helped repaint the house. Deluxe store manager Trina Como says her store's contribution is far from over.
From now, our store is going to donate wall pops as well, and we're going to come back and put them up on the wall. And what it is a wall quote, such as "Reach for the stars," "Live, laugh, love." We're going to put them up in their rooms, and I think when they see the finished product all together with the wall pop, it'll be awesome. You'll see the whole thing come together. It'll be really good.
It's been 5 years since the house was last renovated. During the new renovations, the girls will be temporarily displaced, but organizers say they're thrilled about the facelift.
They were excited for the new color. I think there was a little bit of anxiety as far as having to move all of their stuff, and you know, just the process of painting can be chaotic, and so it did affect them in that sense. But we also talked to them about how good it's going to be when it's all done and over with. So, you know, yes, we're displacing you for a short period of time to get this done, but when it's done, it's going to be so wonderful, and you're going to have this fresh, bright, new space to call home. And so they were really excited about that aspect, and overall, the response was very positive.
In selecting the colors, Casey says there was some psychology in the process to trigger positive emotions.
The girls will be displaced for several days, where Crucilla's House have given them passes to go out with friends and family while the process is complete. When they come back, they'll be treated to a whole new variety of colors. For Stu Journalism, I'm Nick Murray.
Another cause Frederictonians are showing their support for is men's health, specifically the awareness of prostate cancer. Fundraisers for cancer are ongoing throughout the year, but the month of November sets aside 30 days to focus on men's health. The men at St. Thomas University are putting money on mustaches for Movember. Nicole Vare files this report.
It's not just men who are showing their support for Movember, and growing a mustache for a month isn't what it's all about. Raising awareness for men's health is a big picture, and St. Thomas University is taking part in the cause. The men are packing up the razors and displaying their stash, with the goal of raising awareness for prostate cancer. Rosalind Alessi is an organizer of the Movember Gala at STU. She says each year more people realize it's not just about growing a mustache.
Becoming more aware about the cause, like men's health is something that is sometimes put on the back burner, whether it is because like breast cancer seems to be more prominent in women's health issues, or because men aren't prone to talking about these things. So just becoming aware of it, and especially if you're a girl, don't think that just because this is a men's health fundraiser that you can't participate, because I think the statistic is 1 in 7 men will be affected by prostate cancer, so that means that you will know someone who will be affected by it, and in turn you'll be affected as well.
The month of fundraising and spreading awareness is well underway. However, the mustache growth is still in the works. Luke Robertson is running the residence events for Movember and has some interesting tactics to encourage people to donate.
A big part of it is when people lock themselves out of the room now, since it's become such a problem, we're taking $1 from them, which goes to Movember, so they're making a forced donation, I guess you could say.
Luke also makes sure students know why they are donating.
Well, the whole idea of it started in Australia in 2003, I believe, and I think it was 2 guys who were sitting around and wanted to find a reason to bring back the mustache. So the first year they did it, they decided that they would just do it for fun, and then realized what a powerful tool they had in their hands for an issue for men's health. So the real aim is that people will see guys walking around with mustaches looking like idiots and wonder what it's about, and they'll begin to ask questions and things like that, which brings them right into the whole subject.
The Movember Gala takes place on the 30th of November and wraps up the St. Thomas fundraisers. For more information on the cause, you can visit the official Movember website at ca.movember.com.
Movember isn't all about fun and games. It's about changing the face of men's health, and more people are participating each year. For STU Journalism, I'm Nicole Vare.
And our final story covers another unusual fundraiser. Not all zombies were put to rest after Halloween night.
Runners dodged zombies during a charitable race at Killarney Lake earlier this month. The Fredericton Sexual Assault Crisis Center hosted the 5-kilometer run. Runners lined up waiting to register. They could sign up individually or as a team. After registering, they were given 3 flags to put on their waist belt. This belt was their lifeline. 3 flags represented full health. When they lost all their flags to the zombies, they were dead. For many, it was their first time taking part in a zombie race. Grania McKenna was one of the runners.
It definitely involves a lot more people, and it's interesting. It's not just a big sale or like something like a normal fundraiser. It's just really, really different than everything else.
50 zombies were scattered along the trail. It was their job to snatch flags as runners tried to sneak by. The zombies were all volunteers like Tim Bouchon, who are affiliated with the Sexual Assault Crisis Center.
Well, I work with the YMCA. It's a youth group. It's through the International Committee, and yesterday we meet on Fridays, and we bloodied up a bunch of shirts and did like a makeup demo, and yeah, we made a team.
This was the first time the Fredericton Sexual Assault Crisis Center hosted a zombie run. These types of fundraisers are more popular in the United States. The event brought out a large crowd of supporters, 180 runners, and 50 volunteer zombies.
All zombies over here, please.
Jen Gorham organized the event. She said past fundraisers couldn't compare to this one.
Our work is difficult, and you can't kind of always be working super serious all the time. You need to have some fun. And so we thought, let's find something that we enjoy doing as an organization. And so that's why I think that's why there's so much enthusiasm, because everybody was so excited to do something completely different than what we do and have a good time.
After the race, zombies and runners could cool down to some yoga. There was also a food venue on site. According to the organization, the fundraiser was a success, and Gorham said she couldn't have asked for a better day.
I think we sold out. I know we had 180 runners. Over 50 zombies. Yes, it was perfect. And perfect weather. Oh my gosh, the perfect day.
Although the money has not all been counted yet, organizers believe this event raised over $6,000. This money will be going towards the Fredericton Sexual Assault Crisis Center. For Stu Journalism, I'm Anika Divenvorden.
And that's all for this edition of the Basement Files. For Stu Journalism, we're the Dream Team. I'm Justin Cook.
I'm Robert Bob Johnson. Thank you for watching.